welcome to the Swift Half, your weekly session of chat from the UKOCR and adventure running scene. Each week, pub landlord Alan and our favourite regular Ian discuss races, runners and anything else that comes to mind. So pull up a pew, pour yourself a drink and join us for the Swift Half.
You're listening to the number one most listened to... Wait, hang on. Does that say no one listened to? Ooh, awkward.
Here, my friend, it's that time of the week. Welcome to the Swift Half. How are you?
I'm well, Alan. I'm glad to be here. This is your Friday treat, unless you're on Patreon, in which case it is your treat whenever Alan manages to get it out. So you could be listening on Sunday.
Or whenever. Any day.
Or whenever. Any day. Any day.
Oh, what a joke. Can we jump straight in with something here, Ian? Because normally, at this time of year, we always talk about something, which is the results of Big's Backyard Ultra.
Big's Backyard. Is that the fake Farmyard Jam race? The one that's very similar to Farmyard Jam, but it's just not got the level of prestige.
And it's not got the challenge that the Farmyard Jam has either. Yeah, you're quite right. That one.
But it's still the second best backyard event out there, of course.
It certainly is, yeah. So we normally always give results out, Ian.
Yeah, we got a bit of a problem, haven't we?
Still bloody running.
They are still running. Let's keep an eye on that. And given I feel this might be a 5-hour episode, hopefully by the end of our recording, they may have finished.
The world record's gone, though. The world record has gone.
But world record has gone. So that does date when we're recording slightly, but not too much, because as we know, we don't know what's happening.
No, we don't. We don't know. It's exciting times, Ian. It's exciting times. What have you been up to this week?
Well, I attended High Rocks over the weekend, so we might dip into that a little bit. But before I go any further, Alan, can I tell you what I'm drinking?
What are you drinking? I got something strange and weird and wonderful.
It is. What I'm having today is recently the shop near us has started getting American sweets in.
Oh, I like American sweets. Do you know what does American sweets? There is Jay and what's the twins' names?
E&M?
No. Oh, I was going to proper open out. I'm going to come back to them later. The twins, Naomi's twins. I can't think of the twins' names. One of them does American sweets. He imports American sweets into the UK.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah. I think he makes more money doing that than we do by doing this podcast.
He does. So he's now selling them to your local shop.
He must be selling them to my local shop, because I've got, the brand is called Fruit Juicy Red, which I can't actually drink because Fruit Juicy Red is a caffeinated drink. But we've got a non-caffeine drink called Hawaiian Punch, which is really nice. And apparently it's only 60 calories a can.
That's quite good, that. 60 calories.
Yeah, and do you want to know what's kind of weird about it?
Go on.
It's 12 fluid ounces, which is 355 millilitres. So those pesky Americans are getting 25 millilitres over and above us for their cans.
Everything's bigger in America.
Everything's bigger in America. So, Alan, what are you on?
Well, I started on Lucozade because I've been feeling a little bit down this week. I don't think I've got COVID, but I've got the coughs. Not got the temperature, and I can still taste. So I'm on Lucozade earlier, but I've drank that because I was recording earlier with someone else, and now I am on Iron Brew.
Iron Brew.
So just for our Scottish friends, I'm on the Iron Brew.
It's made with girders, I believe.
Real girders. That was the same word. Made with girders.
Made with real girders. Actually, Iron Brew, if you happen to listen to this, which I'll be honest, I'm more chance of winning the lottery than a rep of Iron Brew listening to this. Can you please make a non-caffeinated version? I love the taste of Iron Brew, but it's got caffeine in.
Oh, does it have caffeine in? I didn't know that.
It does. So I tend to have Iron Brew sweets. In actual fact, our good friend Martin Gemmell previously brought us down some Iron Brew sweets because they don't have caffeine in. They just taste of Iron Brew. Wait a minute, are we in a rerun?
I think you have mentioned this before.
If we're in a rerun, I'm sorry, listener. This might be a snake eating its tail thing. Is this the end of the show? Have we just reached the end of all our material? That's it. Switch the lights off, pack away the patches, and pack away those expensive microphones we got courtesy of the patrons. Thank you so much. Yeah, just pack it all away.
Just pack everything away. Let's just not do anything anymore. That's it. See you. Bye.
Bye. Right. Should we try and push on?
Try and push on. Push through it. This is the wall that we have to hit sometimes when we're running. We're going to push through it, Ian. Tell us the story.
Which story?
Oh, it's gone.
There we go.
No, Martin brought you Iron Brew, sweets down, and they're caffeine free.
Yeah, it's not exactly a very entertaining story. That's the whole thing. He was very nice. He brought me some. I think it was to High Watts Glasgow. But talking about regular listeners, we can segue into Kieran McAvoy, who we don't talk about a lot on the show, but he was on TV.
Go on. He was sat on top of the television?
No, he was on a episode of The Chase.
Oh, wow. Did he win?
I don't believe so. I think he took on the Beast, which is not someone to take on. But yeah, apparently it was a few years ago, but it was repeated recently. So yeah, it's always good. And it got me thinking, a fair amount of our listeners actually have just been on TV.
On Ninja Warrior?
Yeah, lots of them have been on Ninja Warrior. We've then got Will Chung, who, by my last count, has been on at least 3 TV shows.
Will be on.
He's been on the Weakest Link.
Oh, yeah.
He's been on something that I want to call Big Heads, where he was dressed as Ed Sheeran.
Oh, was I didn't know he'd been on Big Heads. Oh, yeah, I do actually, yes. He was, yeah, I remember that. And
he was also on something that was hoping to take over Ninja Warrior, which was this weird thing. I want to call it the Chasm or something. The Void, that was what it was called. The Void, where you had to cross a bridge over a swimming pool. And believe me, listener, me describing it just then was more interesting than the actual show.
You know, I'm going to have to go and Google The Void now, don't you? I'm actually going to have to go and Google it on YouTube. Is it on YouTube?
I hope not. I really hope not. Use that bandwidth for something else.
I'm actually jotting it down. The Void, Will Chung.
But let's start a discussion on that. If anyone else has been on any kind of TV show, let's give you a shout out on a future episode, because it is fascinating, particularly when it's not something related to OCR, like Will on The Weakest Link or Kieran on The Chase. Maybe you and me should get on TV, Alan.
I've been on
Crime Watch.
Crime Watch is one of them, yeah. I was on Brain Teaser.
What on earth was Brain Teaser?
So back in the 90s, it was a Channel 4 quiz show on afternoon TV, and it was all to do with making words up. So they gave you some letters, and you had to come up with a word that contained all them letters. So however long the word was, you got more points. Then there was a conundrum, like an anagram type of thing as well. And yeah, I won.
So let me get this straight. You got a load of letters.
Yeah.
That you then had to rearrange in a way to make words. And the longer the word, the better the score.
Yeah.
You also got like conundrums. Were these maths-based conundrums by any chance?
No, it was all English. It was all English-based. It was all literally... so it wasn't Countdown. I know you're thinking Countdown. No, it wasn't Countdown. But no, it was like an anagram, just like a conundrum anagram type of thing. And you had to come up, find the word and things like that. Yeah, it was interesting, but...
I had no idea that Channel 4 did a bootleg version of Countdown.
Was the Countdown going then? It might have actually been before Countdown. I don't know how Countdown's going, but this was the 90s. If
it was before Countdown, it was probably in black and white.
I think it probably was in black and white, actually, thinking about it. I won. I won £1,000.
What did you spend it on? Do you remember?
Not a clue. It took nearly 3 or 4 months for me to actually get the money from them, which was like, they tell you you've won £1,000 and show you the money on television, and then you wait 3 or 4 months for it.
Was this actually organised by Geordie Senna?
It could have been one of his things, yeah. It was fun. It was one of the words. I always remember one of the words. They gave you the three letters they gave you were DLK, and you had to buzz in. So, and DLK, I just came up with Dalek. But it was like it got quite a few laughs and that. Yeah.
Did Dalek get you points?
It got me 5 points. Yeah, it got me 5 points. I went through. You had to compete against 3 other people in round 1, and then round 2 it was against the winner of another round of 3 people, and then if you beat them, you got through to the final. And I got through to the final, and it was a strange thing because you got so many letters. So it was like for £100, can you rearrange these letters to make a word? And then it was the next one. It was that had one more letter to that, and I got. I'll tell you the letters I got. I got RANLED, and I can't remember what word I got with that, but that was a word I got. And they gave me a G, and they said, so I won £1,000 at this point, and this was for the top prize, which I think was 5,000. And they give you 10 seconds to decide if you're going to play or not. And every other word, something had come to me instantly. And I'd gone, yep. And I got to this word I couldn't think of any word that would have a G in it. So RANLED, and then a G in it. And I'll tell you, shall I wait until the end to tell everyone what the word was? Because people might be playing this right now. Or should we tell them to pause it?
No, tell us at the end so people have probably about 40 minutes now to work out a word. So if we remember, then we will come back to it. But you mentioned there about TV. I'm actually going to give a quick shout out to Katie Twigg, who did the High Rocks relay. I'm going to shout out her teammates, which was Lucy Freeman, Emma Jane Hughes, and Livy Sheldon. And the reason this is relevant is Livy Sheldon will soon be better known as Diamond in the new Gladiators.
Ooh, when's this coming out?
Not sure when the new Gladiator is coming out, but for the first time ever, a Gladiator has done a High Rocks.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. I heard that there was a professional footballer that did High Rocks as well.
Yeah, a former professional footballer won it. I think he's still a professional. He played for Man United back in the day. Let me just find out his name for us. It was Sadiq El Fittori. And you no doubt asked that because you knew I'd butcher the name. But yeah, that was Sadiq El Fittori. He used to play for Salford City. He then went on to Man United. I don't think his career quite took off, but I think he's still playing. I think he's coached now by friend of the show, Graham Halliday. So, well done to Sadiq for taking podium over at High Rocks this weekend. Actually, should we just go through podiums while we're here?
Let's go through the podiums while we're here.
While we're here, Sadiq El Fittori was first place for men's pro. We then had Adam Courtler in second place, and then Mark Lynch in third place. In the ladies' race, in first place, we had Kate Davey, who was second place the week before. In second place, we had Jade Skillen, so Jade back to form there. And in third place, we had Shawnee Gibson, who took third from the second wave, actually. So she snuck in and took second place. And Alan, the listener could relive the ladies' event by popping over to our IG because we live streamed it.
Oh, yes. Love it, Ian. Did we stream the whole episode? I'm going to say, did we? Because I wasn't there. Did you stream the whole ladies' race, or was it the highlights?
You've just ruined it because I imagine that everyone thought you were in my ear being a producer when we were doing this. So, because I was wearing headphones doing it. So you just ruined it. Yeah, you've got rid of the magic. But yeah, the entire race, and it is of live stream quality. We did not have a HK camera. We had a mobile phone with a selfie stick, which was really useful because it was so busy sometimes to get a good shot. We had to go high. So it was great for that. So we live streamed the entire ladies' race. We also live streamed Hunter's race.
Ian, I have seen some of it. So I was lying there when I said what it's saying. So I have seen some of it. It's good. Any footage for me is good footage. No matter what it is, it's promoting the sport. And it's what we need in OCR more. We're trying to do it in OCR more. Shout out to Claire, because Claire does a lot for us and that. And so does Katie. But yeah, we're trying to do more. It's great that you got the whole race. Excuse me. It's good that you got the whole race, because it's easier in High Rocks to get the whole race, because you can just move from station to station to get it. We need something in OCR where we can do that. So put all the obstacles in the event village, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. Do that. But yeah, it was a last minute decision, Alan, because as you remember, I actually went there with our recording equipment. The idea was I was going to do some podcasting, and we ended up not doing any podcasting and instead doing some live streaming. Big shout out to Will Chung and Kirsty Keating for at the last minute agreeing to come on and record a podcast with us, because we might not have had anything this week. But it was last minute. The signal was amazing. The commentary was meh, because, well, it was live commentary, and I'm not Claire.
No.
I need to take her wherever we go. We need to start paying for her to go and do this. But you are right, Alan. If anything can be live streamed, it's the High Rocks race or a Decker race. And maybe, Alan, maybe a 3K race.
Maybe a 3K race on 14th of November.
Yeah, I think it's the 12th. You might be a bit late on the 14th. I think it's the 12th of November. But you are
quite right. I keep saying the 14th? Because at work, we're moving on the 14th. So I'm moving office on the 14th. It's stuck in my brain. So yeah, 12th.
Yeah, don't go to Forders on the 14th, although you might want to avoid having to do any moving. But yeah, it is the 12th. Let's see what the signal's like. I can't remember what it's like at Forders. So we're just going to have to see. And if we can, then let's do some live streaming.
Definitely, without a doubt. Definitely. Have you finished with High Rocks there?
Yeah, we've got some of the High Rocks news, but let's touch on that later on. But that's a nice summary of the Birmingham. We've got some news going forward. So let's move on to some OCR.
Well, I was going to mention, because High Rocks was on this weekend, there was also another event on this weekend down in at Swanbourne Endeavour, the British Obstacle Sports British OCR Junior Championships. 3 categories this year, Ian. So last year, if I remember rightly, I'm sure there was only 2 categories. There was 12 to 13 and 14 to 17. This year, 3 categories. They also add 10 to 11-year-olds as well. You want to hear some results?
Yeah, but before we go on to results, I think that's a great move, because it reflects the interest in the youngsters. I presume as well, Alan, that anyone under 10, they did a fun run, because under 10, you shouldn't really be competing. It should all be about the fun.
I do believe, I think there was another one that was under that age, and it was fun. And there's also some adults who ran it as well, and they ran it for fun. I think it's great that they moved it to that one extra level to bring that competitiveness in. I listened to Matt B. Davis's podcast this week when he was speaking to the guy from Spartan. Now, you're going to tell me his name, and I've completely forgot it.
No, I'm really not. I can't remember who he's talking to.
Well, apparently he's product manager or manager of product or whatever he is now. And he actually made something which I thought was quite interesting. He made a statement that if you are a fun runner in OCR, yeah, you are potentially going to dabble in OCR. As in, you might go to one event and then you might not go to the next one, but you might go to another one, and so forth and so forth. If you are a racer in OCR, you're more likely to go to every place that has a race on, because you're competitive. You want to do better. You want to beat the person outside you. And I look back at when I used to do OCR, when I got into it, and I was a racer, yeah. So I got into it through the fun element of it. I wanted to do one. And then I instantly realised, hang on a minute, I like this. I like racing. I like trying to compete against the people. and I went down that route, and I did do one every weekend, sometimes 2 a weekend, and even 3. Now I've gone back to being more of a fun runner, at them. I'm not doing everyone, and it makes it quite interesting that if you want longevity from a particular source, so from a one runner, then putting a race on is the right idea. Whereas we all know you're going to get majority of your income from fun runners, but they're not necessarily going to be coming back time and time again.
Oh, that's an interesting thing that we could probably spend the rest of the show debating, because I'm going to have a counterpoint.
What's your counterpoint?
Well, my counterpoint is there are lots of people like me and the solo mudders, and maybe it's just a tough mudder thing or some of the other things like the race that shan't be named. You get quite a lot of committed runners. You're right. If there are 9,000 people at a tough mudder event and 8,000 are fun runners, probably only about 500 of them is what I'd call addicts. So in terms of percentages, you're quite right that when it comes to racers, if there's 250 people racing the Tough Mudder by doing Infinity, I know it's not a race, but just work with me, those 250 will likely go and do all of them.
Yeah.
So from a percentage point of view, you are right. But for you, Alan, what was one of the reasons OCR not died, but got put on life support in 2017, 2018 in the UK scene?
Yeah, and you're quite right. It went too heavily down the racing element, and we got racers that were demanding more and more tougher obstacles, and then we got the rigs, and we got we went stupid on things and tried to make it. I'm not going to say too tough, but we tried to make it too technical, too fast.
Yeah, I think Dino's rigs just called and said,
"Yeah,
what? Yeah, I wasn't too tough, but." Yeah, and that was kind of led by the racers. But on the other hand, I can't completely discount what the Spartan guy was saying because they've never really dealt with that side of things. In that, as a racer, their view, and it's actually a view I share, is if a race is too easy, run faster.
Yeah. It just made sense to what he'd said, and at the time I was thinking that what he does say makes sense. Is the growing a sport. And to grow it, you would grow it through racing, which is what I guess we're trying to do that with the UKOCR series. We're trying to grow the sport through actual races and bring runners in from other disciplines, not necessarily from OCR, but from running, trail running, feld running into our sport to give it that longevity.
That does make a lot of sense. And looking back at it was kind of like what's that saying when something is pushing the cart or whatever, the wrong person is driving it forward, and it was racers getting bored with this rig that had barbed wire wrapped around a ring, and they actually wanted to fire or whatever crazy stuff they started doing. And as it got harder, that drove people away.
So it should be the horse pulls the cart, not the cart pushes the horse.
There we go. Thank you. You put the cart before the horse. There we go. Yeah. Thank you, Alan. Because now you mention it, looking at High Rocks, which is probably where OCR was, I want to say now 2015, maybe 2016, some of the backlash is with the fact that, although it's standardized, a lot of the courses run differently. So you have quick courses and you have slower courses. And a few people, and we'll move on to talking about Dublin later, are upset with a number of laps of Dublin because they're basically saying, "Oh, you just can't get a fast time on that." And to me, that doesn't matter. And in the grand scheme of things, it still doesn't matter because the race is against the people around you. The only people who have to worry about the time are the elite 15s, and they're not complaining. It's the people who are going for age group podiums. But behind that, they're going for a PB. And by pushing this competitive side of High Rocks, you've got this situation now where people are thinking, if I don't PB, it was a waste of my time.
Yeah. I get that because they're wanting to push themselves every race. I do get that.
Yeah, and you are right in that it could become an issue because High Rocks has always been competitive. That's the way it is. It's a do or door. So that is really interesting, which then brings me on to what I love about what British Obstacle is doing. It is really, really, really pushing all races to look at the potential of having multiple formats. So, and you can even get Ninja involved in this. If you were one of these people in 2016, 2017 who was upset because you couldn't have the super rig, now go and do a Ninja and you'll see rigs that you would never have seen before. Or you can do a 3K course, which is probably also highly technical. Or if you want a runner's course, for lack of a better description, go and do a 15K or an ultra.
Yeah, I agree. Shall we get some results out for the juniors, though?
Yeah, let's
we
give
can
some
go.
results
We're going
out.
down a rabbit hole here, and we're not going to come back to the juniors.
No, we'll get over this rabbit hole. You know what, Alan? I think this should be a long form podcast sometime. Let's find some guests and let's do this debate on what drives the growth of OCR. But what does drive the growth of OCR is the junior athlete. So, Alan, give them their flowers, please.
It certainly does. Shall we go with the youngest first, and then come to the eldest?
Yeah, let's go with that.
Okay, so we'll go for men's. I did the pictures and I put men's and women on them because I thought that's what they are. They're young men and young women. So I'm going to call them men and women. So men, first place, 10 to 11-year-olds, Harry Jeffrey. Second, Charlie Carman. And third, Riley Gleason. Big thank you out to a few people who mentioned that I got the pictures wrong in the first time. I had to re-edit that. So thank you for that. In the women's 10 to 11, Isla Lads won, followed by Poppy Bishop. And then we had an actual tie for third place here. Emma Wright and Mariah Burton, exactly the same time.
How long was this course?
Oh, I'm not sure. You're asking me now. I've got in my head, the times looked at around about 2 to 3 kilometres.
That's very hard to tie on a 2 to 3 kilometre course.
The times were exactly the same. In the 12 to 13-year-old men, James Jarman, Alexander Cook, and Flynn Stewart, first, second, third. In the women, we had Izzy Young, followed by Primrose Allen and Lydia Fisher-Jones. And then in the British champs, the women, 14 to 17-year-olds, Emily Carman won, followed by Lauren MacArthur and Mia White. So Lauren's quite a good runner as well. So Emily did really well to take title there. And then for the second year running in the men's, 14 to 17-year-olds, Finlay Greenleaf took the title, Joseph Pickering second, and Cameron Montgomery in third. And I made a mistake on the spelling there, Ian, and spelt it Montgomery, R-I-R instead of R-I-E. So apologies. Thank you to Tim for mentioning that as well to me. I couldn't change that because I'd already published that one.
Mistakes happen, Alan. Sometimes I put a complete wrong picture up like you did. It's quite... In actual fact, Alan, I think on the ladies' live stream, I was following the wrong person from wave 2 when I was waiting for that. So I don't even think I got Shawnee, who came third place in the streams. I don't know who I was following, but whoever I was, they were doing all right. Can we also give a couple of shout outs as well, Alan? Firstly, just briefly going back to High Rocks, let's give a quick shout out to Evie Waring, who, having been injured for most of last season, made her return to High Rocks and did Ladies Open and did really well, despite it being close to midnight, or at least it felt like it when the Women's Open took part. So well done to Evie. And let's give a shout out to Libby Joyce, who wasn't racing at the Junior Champs. Instead, she was being a technical official.
And I love that, giving something back, giving something back. Also, the next year's British Junior Champs has been announced. Saturday, the 29th of June. It's going to be hosted by Spartan this time out. So a little bit more standardised in obstacles. I hope that British Obstacle Sports brings some of their obstacles as well. Some other obstacles come into it. And it's at, we're going to have that conversation again. Is it Beaver Castle?
It is, I believe, Beaver Castle, which is spelt Belvoir. I think it's because no one in the local area wanted it to sound French, so they went with Beaver. So Yeah, get yourself. So does that mean it'll be on a Spartan weekend, so Spartan Midlands weekend?
I believe it is, yes. I believe it is.
Also, Alan, I made a slight mistake there with shout out to Libby. Can we also shout out Emilia as well, because she also was a technical official. She's again a great junior athlete, and it's really nice to see the young athletes giving something back to the sport. So well done. It looks like they were taking part in, well, almost a walk the plank type obstacle. Do you know where you just jump into water? And
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't think I would have done it. I don't know how these juniors got on with it. It didn't look fun.
They're amazing. They're amazing. Quick talking about shout outs and the community, and I got a voicemail this week. So first of all, we've got a new patron. So B Woods joined our Patreon train. Well done, B. Thank you very much indeed. But she also sent me a voicemail. Now, people who know B know she's been on our podcast, and go back and listen to her. She has some challenges in life. She's in a wheelchair, amongst other things. And she sent me a voicemail. Now, I'm going to play it at the end of the show, Ian. But basically what she's saying, she and I love this. We used to get this all the time. You know, you touch back like in 2016, 2017. If we went a bit further back, 2013, 2014, I used to get messages like this all the time. And it was like, thank yous for being accepted, the community accepting it. And she does name a few people. Listen to it at the end of this, guys. But it's about a thank you to the community for accepting her. And I love it, Ian. I've asked her if I can play it at the end. She did ask for a shout out for certain people, but I'm going to play it all at end. So listen to end. After me and you finished, Ian, it's going to be on this.
Perfect. And yeah, like you say, it's just so nice to see that community feel. And I was reminded a little bit about that at High Rocks. I know we're talking about High Rocks a lot today, listener. That's because it was one of two events. So we always talk about events that have happened. What we did have there was a lot of people like Wayne and Joe that's Joe Terry from Solo Mudders, and Joe Lister, who were there, who were a big part of the OCR community, who did their tour into High Rocks. And maybe we'll start to see a little bit more of some of the old guard getting sucked back in to High Rocks, remembering what fun it is to do these crazy kind of events. And we might see them at OCRs in the future too.
Yeah, I think there's a space for both, and I think you can both feed off each other because it is a community, the two communities, and you know, and that's what it's all about. That's one of the biggest things that attracted me. We talked about what attracted me initially. It was that community, and it was the racing, and there is a bigger community in the racing section, and because High Rocks is a race, you know, everyone's in a race, you know. Not many people are doing High Rocks for fun because, trust me, it's not fun, or it wasn't when I did it. I did it for the challenge, and yeah. But it's a race, and people, when you're racing, they come close together because they're saying, what makes me faster? How do I get faster? Is this the right thing? Is that right thing? Just hope that it doesn't go like OCR and people try and push it down a whole new avenue and make it too tough and things like that, or want to make it too tough.
Well, thankfully, High Rocks has already taken the Spartan approach of just saying, we're never changing.
Yeah.
We're never, ever changing. So that's thankfully not an option. But you are right. I think they can feed off each other. I'll be very interested to see at Forders the fact that we will have people there who are pure OCR. We will probably have people there who are pure fitness racing. And I reckon they'll watch each other and think, you know what, I want a piece of that.
Yeah, I do too. Can we give us a bit of update on the series, Ian?
Yeah, give a bit of update on the UKOCR series, because I think you had a lovely segue about 15 minutes ago that I just completely ruined. So let's go to the series now.
So we're not in a point to announce a new race. And I want to give an update on the reason why is because this year we've asked racers to put some money into a pot, and the races that we spoke to so far are all in agreement that it's the right thing to do. And we are going to have prize money for the first time in the UKOCR series. So there is going to be prize money in 2024, which I think is a good news. And that. So fingers crossed that's going to happen. not 700% at the minute, with 90% there. And we've also asked racers to have adaptive athletes as well as a race, because we're going to have a new category, hopefully, as an adaptive athletes. What do you think on this, Ian? Do you think this is good news for us, or a new category?
I think it's excellent news. I really hope it helps get more adaptive athletes in, because I think I'm thinking back to maybe over a year or so ago when British Obstacle hosted a little bit of an adaptive athletes forum that we watched. And I think it was Jamie Gain who basically said that at the moment, when it comes to adaptive athletes, he can bring up all the ones he's aware of, and that is the adaptive athlete scene in the OCRs.
Yeah.
So maybe by having a series, it will help. So next year, it might end up being like our initial one, where we may have, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, and 9 people on the leaderboard, or not everyone doing every race, which is okay. But perhaps like we saw this year, where practically every category, the top 10 had done all 4 races, maybe that's our goal for 2025 and 2026.
That is the aim. You're right, Ian. That is the aim. 2025, 26, we want all the adaptive athletes going to races, and we want races to see that they can do it. So they've all got to come back to us yet. So that was a quick update on that. I am liking, though, Ian, I am seeing some of our teams changing. So, last year, our event. So Ruth Battersea, for example, yeah, we collared her for our team because she wasn't joining another team. She's left us, Ian, to go to Nuclear Wild Forest. Can you believe it? We offered a 0 payment, but she still left us.
0 payment, 0 money down. Did we happen to get a transfer fee from Nuclear Wild Forest?
No, I don't think we did. No, we did. We got her. She was on our list, and no.
I guess the nuclear team did send us a dry robe last year, so maybe that can count as payment.
Valid point. Keeper.
Who else is left on our team? Who else can we shill out?
I actually pulled the results up earlier on. I actually interviewed Finlay Greenleaf earlier. She's coming out Monday, so there's a bit of sneak preview of people coming up. And there wasn't that many people in the top 10 of the men's and women's who wasn't linked to a team, if that makes sense.
So what you're saying is, at this rate, we might actually have to have a team.
We might have to start creating a team, Ian. I don't know what we're going to incentive. Can we give them American Sweets as an incentive?
Yeah, if we can get that hookup from the OCR twins.
Yeah, I think that's a good hookup. That we go to OCR twins, offer them. We'll offer them. I don't know what we'll offer them. We'll offer them something in return for sweets to give to our runners.
We can give them shout outs. We'll just give them lots and lots of shout outs. Can we pay people in shout outs? I'm not sure it's ethical.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can. I've got another update from our side as well. So I can't give too much away, but the awards, so the 2023 awards, are going to happen in the 2nd or 3rd Saturday in March. Yeah, we're awaiting some dates. And we are going to have a special race on the day. Yeah, it's going to be open to everyone. Not going to tell anyone more details yet. Followed by the awards in an evening. And it's going to be North London area.
North London area.
That's the hotel. That's the hotel.
The hotel is North London area.
Yeah.
The event, of course, is happening in Scotland, but the hotel is going to be North London area.
That's
perfect.
It, yes, that's right. And a big shout out, because Wendy Brothers is helping us out with this, Ian, and she's going out and she's doing a lot of the legwork, because I don't live in London, and she's going and checking out the hotels. So if anything goes wrong, people, when you come down to it this year, if the hotel's not good enough for you, go and see Wendy, please. Only joking, Wendy, they can come and see me.
We can. And we should clarify, that was a joke. The event will not be in Scotland. I'm sorry, Scottish peeps. It will be around that area. If only someone could figure out where it possibly could be, Alan. Yeah, we'll see. But we mentioned the OCR twins, and I've got the names by way. It's Aston and Jay. I'm not sure who's running the American Sweet Smuggling Enterprise, or whatever it's called.
Smuggling Enterprise.
But can we give a big shout out to Naomi, their mum?
Yeah. Naomi Mitchell.
Naomi Mitchell, because last week this happened after we'd recorded, but she gave birth to her third son, to Mason Holmes Newton. So Mason, welcome to the world.
Welcome, Mason. I wonder if he's going to be fast like his brothers.
I suspect so. I suspect he's going to be a good racer too, and look forward to seeing him take the, let me work this maths out, the 2034 10 to 11-year-old junior championships.
Oh, there's that. Put a bet on it now, Ian. How good would that be if you put that bet on that now? Ring Paddy Power up. Other betting shops available, but ring one of them up and book it.
See, we can book that in. Right. So, Alan, what else is on the notes?
Couple of things. So the British Ninja Championships have been announced at HC Fit again on the 3rd of December. So if you remember last year, we had some live stream. Didn't Becky go on live stream it? And James Burton?
Believe she did. And what did we pay him? Oh, nothing. But yeah, they did. So hopefully we can get some more live streaming.
Yeah, well, I've seen Becky's been training in Ninja Centre recently, so she might be actually giving it a go herself.
I'm sure she's not just doing that so she can grab it backwards.
Well, that might be the other thing as well. But yeah, well, get on yourself down there, watch it. PT Barn, they've announced their Road to the Worlds. Always a great thing, their Road to the Worlds courses. They've got 4 courses next year, 25th of February, 21st of April, 14th of July, and 15th of September, all leading up to OCR WC, because it's their fine. Well, we don't know what's going to happen. It might be the final ever one. We don't know yet, do we? Because it's been taken over by Spartan, so we'll have to wait and see.
And presumably you could use some of them early Road to Worlds to get yourself ready for the FISO World Championships, which I want to say is somewhere in South America. I can't remember quite where it is.
Really? No?
It may be.
Puerto
I'm sorry,
Rico?
James. Yeah, it's somewhere. You know, it's below the USA. It's somewhere around there.
Yes. Now you've put a note on here. Hyrox got new equipment.
Yes, Hyrox did get new equipment. They have traditionally, every region has tended to be allowed to source its own equipment, if that makes sense. So over in the UK, we've used Wolverson since practically the start. Over in America, I'm not sure what theirs is called, but apparently it was made by China. I suspect the Wolverson stuff's made by China too, but It was definitely a little bit different. And basically, Hyrox, to try and get even more standardization, is rolling out one manufacturer for every single event.
Oh, wow. Do we know the manufacturer?
We do. We actually got a press release.
Oh, tell me more. Tell me more.
Should we read out the press release?
Go on, yeah.
I'll read this out. I know, Alan, you've probably missed this release, so this is new to you as it's going. The new company is called Centre, but that is with one E. So Centre with one E, which is always good. So Centre, a health and wellness ecosystem founded by Chris Hemsworth. Alan, any idea who Chris Hemsworth is?
No, shall I Google him while you continue, or do you know him?
I do know who he is, but I'll let you Google him. But today announced an all-new partnership with Hyrox for World Series of Fitness Racing as its new official equipment provider for all races. The partnership marks Centre's initial entry into the competitive sports space. Beginning in 2024, Hyrox races will feature newly designed custom Centre competition equipment. The new performance line will feature battle ropes, power sleds, one-of-a-kind interlocking bumper plate with edge markings to indicate the weight being lifted, pushed and pulled, 8 edge modified competition kettlebells for optimum grip support, aerodynamics and weight distribution, as well as sandbags, wall balls and targets, racks and rigs. I'm not going to read the rest of them, honest, because we then just go into the general fluff piece that we can then pick out quotes for it. But yeah, so the thing that confused me at first was the reference to battle ropes, because we don't do battle ropes, but of course that just means sled pull.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the same ropes, aren't
they? They are. So, Alan, have you Googled him?
Home and Away, 2004 to 2007. Australian television actor.
It makes me laugh that is your takeaway from him. Are you having me on, by the way?
No, seriously, that's what it says. Yeah, he's a Hollywood actor. I get that, but he does. The first line is he rose to prominence playing Kim Hyde in the Australian television series Home and Away, 2004-2007.
Okay, for our listeners who are younger than you, Alan, even a day younger than you, will actually know Chris Hemsworth is 4. He's 4, Alan.
I know that. But it's only Home and Away. It's more important it's an Home and Away. That was much better. It's like much better than being Thor.
Oh, controversial hot take. We're being cancelled by the Thor fans.
By the Thor fans.
Yeah.
I never even knew he owned a gym or any, not a gym, an equipment company. So
there's a good chance he doesn't either. Just kidding.
No, you're probably right, actually. You are probably right with that quote. He will have invested his money and said, yeah, use my name to promote it. And yeah, here we go. He's just...
I should clarify that Centre has previously been like an app type thing, similar to a Peloton. I'm not sure if you do fitness workouts, but it has been like an online thing. So this is their first attempt at breaking into the real world fitness space. A few interesting points about this new equipment, Alan. The ropes are made with a different material, which is apparently less stretchy. It is polyester covered in something compared to nylon that we currently use, and it's less stretchy.
So, I mean, one of the things that I noticed when I did IROX was when I went down to pull the rope, there was literally 6 to 12 inches of stretch in it before, especially when it was the full length of the haul to pull back. So we're hoping that's going to be around 2 to 4 inches then.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't know. This isn't Brainiac, so we can't confirm or deny. But in theory, different material should make it less stretchy. The other aspect is the kettlebells. I'm not sure if you've had a look at them, but we made reference to them being some kind of 8 points. The kettlebells are a lot more blocky than the ones we currently use, and the ones we currently use are relatively blocky, but these are even more so. For transporting, it's going to be great because they're not circle.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, kettlebells probably won't make much difference because of the fact that it's the kettlebells.
Yeah.
And it's like the swimming or triathlon. It's great if you're good at it, but if you're not, it's not going to ruin your race.
Yeah.
So they were the two big points. The wall balls look around the same size, but we'll have to see. There might have been an inch difference between the Wolverstone ones and these new ones. The targets are going to be the same size, but they're not going to be a circle. They're going to be an octagon type shape as well. So it won't probably matter too much because if you can hit the center of a circle, you can hit the center of this.
Yeah.
And other than that, I guess we just need to find out how fast the sleds go.
Are they supplying the carpets as well?
Don't know. I think they're still going with whatever they can get from B&Q that day. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. If anyone from High Rock, this is how this show goes. We tell jokes. So
no, that's not a joke. That's true. That's how it feels like, according to what I read. Anyway, what's going cheap in B&Q.
The thing that is unanswered about this, Alan, is they say early in 2024. Well, they say 2024. Does that mean, because High Rocks runs a season, as you know, in the football season, so autumn through to spring.
Yeah.
Well, does this mean that when we take on our High Rocks in 2024, we're going to get this new equipment and be at a potential advantage or disadvantage of anyone who took part before 2024?
I hope we do, Ian, because then I've got an excuse ready.
So under the old equipment, we would have podium, but under this new equipment, it was just too hard.
Never trained with it. See, all my stuff in the back garden now is all this year's equipment.
Do you honestly have Wolverstone stuff in your back garden?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Shall I even take a picture of my rep bag that I've got? I've got a Wolverson rep bag in my back garden. Yes, that I've been
Please
training
do.
with.
Please share it. But yeah, so that will be our ready-made excuse. Thank you, Hyrox.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. I like that. What else we got on there? You have put Decker Cup is back.
Decker Cup is back. Last year, this was in Madrid over the last weekend in July. It's coming back the weekend of 27th and 28th of July over in Madrid. The Decker Cup, for those who don't know, last year was Europe versus Spain. So we had, I want to say, 5 ladies and 5 men. So 2 teams of 10 who took each other on in various competitions. We actually live streamed that as well, if you remember.
Yeah.
This year there's going to be a slight wrinkle in that it sounds like we'll be having a teams race in terms of the Decker teams of 2-man and a separate overall team who run the singles. So that could be quite interesting. There might be people who are on both, but it doesn't sound like necessarily. You're going to have 2 captains, one in charge of the doubles and one in charge of singles. So that's interesting. We don't know much more about that, but if you're looking for somewhere to go for a bit of summer sun, then look at Madrid, 27th, 28th. It's a wonderful city. I loved it over there. Also, final thing we'll say is the Hyrox registration for Dublin. If anyone's listening to this going over, you will have a designated registration spot. So it's roughly starts about an hour and a half before your race starts, or it starts an hour and a half before the first wave in your division starts. The reason for this, Alan, is over at Birmingham, there were a lot of people who tried to register at 7 a.m., probably to try and go and see Hunter.
Yeah.
And then when the intern went to register about 5 p.m., well, she didn't have to queue at all. So they're trying to spread out registration across the day. There is no early registration. And if you want to go into the arena before your designated registration time, you can go to the spectator desk. They'll give you your athlete's wristband. You just need to return back to the athlete registration to get registered with your timing chip later in the day.
Oh, cool. That's good.
I like this because it was an obvious problem over the weekend because there was just so many people who all came at once. And it's probably a sign of Hunter, but it's probably also a sign of all the teams that are turning up. If Forders, I think, brought 130 people and they probably all traveled together.
Wow. That's a lot of people, that, isn't it?
It really is. Final thing on Hyrox, the island map is out. It looks like it's 33 and a quarter laps. I think it's actually 3.5 laps. You'll get through it. Don't worry, listener. If you're doing it, do what Tom Hogan says. Count the in and go in the 4th time you see it. Also do like our good friend Emma Waring says, put some bubbles on your wrists, and every time you do a lap, just draw one bubble down into the palm of your hand, and then you can keep a track of your laps.
Yeah. Straight. I've got to admit, when I did Manchester, it was something and a half, and I didn't like it. Let's get them close together. I'll soon have them close together. I'm not a fan of that half lap. Let's talk. It's Friday. This comes out Friday. Can we talk about Black Friday deals?
Yes, we can. I didn't realise we're on Black Friday, by the way, because Black Friday is not for another month, but carry on.
But they've started. The deals have started. Yeah, so it's the month leading up to it. So they start on the month leading right up to it, don't they? So Innovate have brought theirs out. Well, a few people have brought theirs out this week. But Ian, Innovate, I have got some of the best deals for women's shoes. No good for me or you, but they have got some of their women's trail shoes down. I think £55 was the 300 that I shared this week, which is absolutely an absolute bargain. I'll tell you exactly what model it is. It is the 300, the Ultra G 300. Currently, they've got sizes 5, 6, 7, and 8, and it's 65 quid. That's a saving of £100.
Saving of £100?
£100 saving, yeah, which is an absolute bargain. I just wish they had them in my size, in size 13s, but they don't. So I'll have to wait.
Oh, I actually had something bad happen to me, training related, over the weekend.
Well, what was that?
I went to Nike Tone, you know about they having Birmingham at near the NEC in Event City.
Yeah.
And there's a particular brand of Nike that I like. They call Miler or something similar.
Right.
It looks like they discontinued them.
That isn't that awful. You know when you find a trainer and you get so good, and then they stop doing it. I used to have it. I used to always, when I raced in Innovate 200s, Bear Grip 200s. It was like you got a tractor tire and cut it into a shape of a shoe and stitched an upper on it, and they were absolutely amazing. But they fell apart literally 6 races, and they fell apart. So they got rid of it. And I know why they got rid of it, but it was still the best ever shoe. It was still the best ever shoe they did.
You are right. It's such a shame. Like I wear Brooks because I can count on. I use their GTFs, and every year they just launch another one, like 21, 22. I don't even know what number they're up to now, but you can count on them to bring them out. But I did like this shoe. It was like a marathon shoe. It just ate up the miles.
Yeah, I love that.
It is what it is. Have we got anything left?
We have got one. We promised at the beginning of the show that we would 2 things. So we promised at the beginning of the show we'd give an update on Big's backyard. So as we are, I'm going to probably predate this now, but we are down to 2 runners, Ian. I'm predating the show, but we're down to 2 runners, but we still can't get the results out. Shall I give one out and you give the other one out, and then we'll at least got it right?
Yeah, except I'll have to actually look up who's also running.
So,
right. So, Alan, I'd like to congratulate Harvey Lewis on winning.
Oh, well done, Harvey. And Ian, I would like to congratulate Ayo Veris on winning.
Well done, Ayo. Well done. Great race all the way through.
And Ian, did you get the word as well? Did you get the word we talked about?
I really didn't. I struggled, Alan. So what was the word?
So, RANLED, yeah. And if you put a G in it, you get gnarled. And I couldn't come up with a silent G.
Oh, that's evil.
It was evil, yes. I couldn't get one, and that's why I didn't even go for the top prize of 5,000. I stuck to 1,000. I just couldn't think of anything.
Oh, that is so evil. I'm taking it down a tangent. I hate when that happens on Wordle. I'm not sure if you ever play Wordle. I might be the only one still playing it, but I hate when they do stuff like that or double letters. But we could talk about that all night, Al. Have we got anything else, or should we wrap it up?
Let's wrap it up, Ian.
Okay, listener, thank you so much as always. If you happen to be in Dublin this weekend, come cheer me, the intern, Mike Nolan, and Claire Simpson on as we do the relay. It's been a long time coming for Team Fitness Racing Podcast to go and do a relay. We've been talking about this since the first, so come and cheer us all. In true UKOCR style, we don't have matching T-shirts because we never got around to ordering them. But if you happen to see us, give us a shout out. And on that, I will say it's a goodbye from me.
And thank you to each and every one of you who have been listening to us on this show. And don't forget to just wait for the credits, and then you get to listen to Bees. But thank you very much for listening. You take care, you stay safe, and we'll speak to you all soon. Bye.
Now because I'm driving. I can do it from my hands free. I don't really know how to word it. Many of the people around me that are my assistance team and want to help in the future, etc., say that they're on something called Team B. Team B being the team that helps me around the course, helps me get ready, helps me around anything. Now, I really wanted to do a shout out to all the Team Crab hats that have been uber supportive in accepting me and supporting me through highs and lows since joining Team Crabs. But also, there's more than that. There's people like emotional support, Sam. She is always there. There's not just Team Crabs. It's effectively, as they say, Team B. But the thing is, I don't want to make it about me. I want to make it about them by thanking the amazing community I've become a part of. And that's not just Tough Mudder. That's my community for OCR in general. Just say thank you for the basically exceptional, unbelievable acceptance in every way possible, but also the understanding. No one has questioned that I have sensory needs when asking about equipment or races. No one has questioned my needs when I say, when it's Black Friday, shall I buy a tent for camping? And they've said, well, you can be, but, the camping at Tough Mudder isn't what it used to be. And sensory-wise, when it's dark at night and it's a trek up a hill to get to the toilet, and the question, of course, is there going to be an accessible portaloo there or not? Because not everyone thinks of booking accessible ones that you can fit a wheelchair in. They're easy enough to get. I run an event myself, part of running Doncaster Pride, and we get accessible portaloos, but not every event organiser would think of that. So when we're doing things, pre-thinking, well, actually, we do this, we do that. Give me the reassurance I need for everything. And I really want to just do a massive thank you, but rather than me saying it on a podcast that I record with you, I just wondered if maybe it came from you or Ian or whoever, then that I've asked you to do it. It might come across a little bit different as to me just saying it. So if you could find a way of thanking everyone that's Team B without making it about me, because it's not about me, it's about them. They are all the legends. I'm not. I'm the nobody that they love and support and help. They are the legends, and just say thank you to them all. And that B says that she really appreciates putting up with me, because they do put up with me. That'd be really appreciated.